The amount of mystery in Halo has gradually receded over the years. The Forerunners were, once upon a time, one of the most mysterious aspects of the Halo universe. But gradually, as we learnt more about them, more about their installations, their megastructures, their culture, once individuals of their species started to return to the Halo universe, the mystique of the Forerunners somewhat wore thin. And this left a very obvious and very palpable void in the inherent mystery that has come to define the Haloverse. But with the discovery of more information about the Forerunners and their culture, and thus the mystery that surrounds them being lifted, we also discovered ancient humanity, and suddenly were enveloped in a new mystery, a mystery which seems to be taking point in Halo Infinite. And judging from the cutscene at the very end of Halo Reach, and the very advanced ship that we can see in the distance, and the claimed date that this seems to be happening at, it would appear that there are some immense technological advancements to happen to humanity over the coming years. And this is likely attributable to Site Yankee 002-G3. Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00, and today, kind of on a bit of a dare, I suppose, I asked the question to the people in my Discord if they had any ideas of a video that I could cover, and challenge me to be able to create this video from absolutely nothing to a finished product in as short a time as possible. Well, I asked this question around 7 PM GMT, began recording at 8 PM GMT, and, well, you're watching the video now. While we're on the subject, if you're not already, you should really consider heading over to Discord. I'm always there. I'm always trying to interact with as many people as I possibly can. I'm always in voice chats. We're arranging more frequent game nights. And it's just a fun place to interact with other Halo nerds who like to share their knowledge and passion for the Halo universe. So pop down below into the description, find the link, and join the Discord, and I look forward to seeing you there. Now anyway, onto the subject of this video. And like I said, today we're looking at Site Yankee 002-G3. The site in question isn't necessarily a site as much as it is the derelict remains of an ancient humanity ship. This ship is detailed in Halo Warfleet, and whilst most of the information given on the ship seems relatively generic and can be applied to most spaceships in the Halo universe at current time, there are some more interesting pieces of information that can be drawn from the information we're provided. So to give a quick breakdown on what is actually on page 14 of Halo Warfleet, starships are slipspace-enabled spacecraft capable of faster-than-light travel between stars. Every starship relies on sophisticated technologies that allow the crew to travel across interstellar space to chart new worlds, conduct trade, or seek out enemies. Large military starships, known as capital ships, are often the cutting edge of a species' technological capabilities, incorporating materials and techniques that are neither cost nor resource efficient. At face value, this information is relatively generic and can be applied to most spacecraft in the Halo universe. However, I find it interesting that they use the terms such as capital ship and reference the most sophisticated cutting edge technology in reference to the particular page this is on, where an ancient human ship is displayed. This suggests that the ship that they have found is in fact an ancient human capital ship, thus meaning that it does contain the most cutting edge technology of ancient humanity. And let's be honest, it's no secret that ancient humanity were significantly more advanced than even humanity in the 26th century. Next, it gives us a breakdown of key locations on the ancient human vessel, but what is massively more interesting is the caption to this particular image. Artifact Report, Oni Xenomaterials Exploitation Report, 15Y1198. Executive Summary. Reconstruction from artifact located at Site Yankee 002-G3. The discovered vessel does not conform to any known alien design. Damage patterns on the original Hulk were consistent with Tier 1 high energy and track-to-presser weapons, but there is no evidence of FSC infiltration or signature cryptostructures, which are common signs of Zeta debitage. Now, the FSC is in relation to the Flood supercell, so FSC infiltration is the implication that the damage to the hull of the ship was as a consequence of encountering the Flood in some degree. However, they found no evidence of the Flood actually being able to infiltrate the vessel, which ultimately led the Oni materials group to probably realise that the damage to the ship was as a consequence of encounters with the Forerunners. This likely resulted in some trepidation in regards to encountering any Forerunners, as it is likely that not a lot of information was known about exactly why ancient humanity and the Forerunners were fighting. The reference to the cryptostructures is basically implying that there are hidden or concealed structures within the ship. The term zeta debitage is quite interesting, as the word debitage is actually defined as the waste material produced in the making of prehistoric stone implements. And zeta, at least in the Halo universe, is relating to Installation 07. And in the trailer for Halo Infinite, where it is confirmed we are on Zeta Halo, we see ancient archaeological stone structures that would have been carved to some degree. I'm not exactly sure how these two relate in regards to an ancient human vessel, but the fact that those words were chosen does seem to point towards the possibility, or the likelihood, that ancient humanity are going to play a significant role in Halo Infinite. Moving on, our assessment is that the vessel is Archaeohomina in origin, and further analysis should be immediately assigned to Project Arcdream. There is basically no information known on what Project Arcdream is, but it's reasonable to assume it's part of the Office of Naval Intelligence investigation into ancient humanity, and likely the attempts at recovering ancient human technology and reverse engineering these constructs for use by modern day humanity. Tactical assessment. Full simulation of tactical capabilities is ongoing, but initial simulation of primary weapon systems indicates that offensive mechanisms are a high probability match for weapons translated as fibril cutters in the Forerunner records. For the record, there is no information on exactly what fibril cutters or the nature of this weaponry really is, only that it was used as a primary armament for ancient humanity at the peak of the war between ancient humanity and the Forerunners. Further investigation of this line of information has been assigned to the team on Azure Moon. Other systems appear to be a variation of particle beam accelerators, though the science team believes this to be superficially homologous. This implies that although the particle beams seem relatively the same in evolutionary origin, they don't necessarily function in the same way. This page does go on to detail other aspects of the ship, but they are simply relatively generic and can be applied to any ship within the Halo universe, with the exception of the gravity control. It reads, though bulky and power hungry, most starships incorporate a gravity control system and inertial compensators. The simplest application allows for comfortable gravity fields to be maintained within the ship's habitable areas and counter or diffuse the negative effects of rapid acceleration and evasive maneuvering. More comprehensive gravitic systems nullify the pull of gravity on the hull, allowing the ship to hover near a planet's surface without the use of thrusters. At face value, this could be in reference to any anti-gravitic system. However, when you take it into consideration that this scene that we see at the very end of Halo Reach has an extremely sophisticated vessel that seems of human origin, and a very large vessel at that, hovering ominously over the surface of the planet, it then becomes all the more likely that the innovations that will be achieved as a consequence of finding this ancient human vessel will be reverse engineered and applied to human technology going forward. How this will play out exactly while we're dealing with the Created and over the events of Halo Infinite is difficult to understand, as with the Created taking control of the galaxy, the vast majority of humanity's manufacturing capabilities are probably null and void at the moment, simply because most of our manufacturing is done either in very close proximity to or actually upon planets, and most planets have artificial intelligence that have turned against humanity. From this, it's reasonable and, let's be honest, relatively obvious to assume that Halo Infinite is not going to be some last entry into the Halo universe. There's more stories to be told after this. Halo Infinite may just be our survival against the Created. It may be coming in contact with a new enemy. It may simply be tying up loose ends and getting ready for a new chapter in the Halo series. But ultimately, the storylines that are going on at the moment need to be rounded up in some way. And new storylines that lead to that inevitable ship hovering over the surface of Reach need to be kicked into action. There is a lot to be accomplished between the two dates, bearing in mind that Halo Infinite apparently happens around 2560 to 2561, and the apparent date of that final cutscene is in 2589. This is only a 29-year period, and you have to also remember that that means that the created war has to come to a close, whatever new storyline needs to be started, and the galaxy needs to settle into a peace long enough to not only terraform the surface of Reach after it was glassed, but also then develop the technology and resettle on Reach, all in just 30 years. This ancient human vessel likely has technology far in advance of anything the UNSC currently has available to it. Although, yes, we have accessibilities to Forerunner constructs of some degree, it's more reasonable to assume that being able to reverse engineer ancient human technology, at least to some degree, is going to be somewhat simpler than trying to reverse engineer the technology of a complete alien species. And I'm very excited to see how this vessel and ancient humanity at large play into the events of Halo Infinite. I also love the fact that this video came about through asking if there were any ideas on a video I could make and challenge me to do it within a very tight time constraint. And yet, not only have I covered the video, but it's also led us to the possibilities of Halo Infinite and some further, deeper, and more obscure lore. This is one of the reasons I love the Halo franchise so much, because everything is intimately interlinked. So before I wrap this video up, shout out to all my guys on Discord, and especially those who jumped to and gave me ideas for a video. I think I can successfully say that this challenge has been met, but ultimately you'll be the judges of that, so, hit me up on Discord and let me know how I did. And to any of you guys who aren't on Discord, get over there now. I look forward to seeing you there. That leaves me to say, thanks for watching. Stick your comments down below. I look forward to what you have to say. I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons: Neek, the Silent Cartographer, Brian, Sebastian, Red Sea, Darian, Stalker of the Realms, Falcon X003, Alvin, DW, and the Revanche, the Holders of the Mantle, Andre, Austin, Black Biscuit, Dreaming, Henry, J Rabbit, Kaiser, Reclaimer 216, Samantha, Spartan A498, Squire Young, Silux, The Death Mantle, and Thin Ice, my Reclaimers, Bastian, Chris, Critical Analysis, Daniel, David, Deep Cover, Dylan, Flaming Halo, Guppy, Harbinger, Ice Lord Cryo, Josh, Verbal Statue, Kenneth Marine, Mickey, Molshar, Nightrise, Spesigo, Starlight, Zach and Zach, my Metarchs, and all the other patrons that have jumped aboard to support the channel. You guys are awesome, and all of this wouldn't be possible without you. If you like Halo lore discussed to insane levels of detail, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you're told the second a new video hits the shelves. Be sure to support us on all major social media channels, including Discord, and if you really love the channel, consider heading over to Patreon and joining the domain and the list of beautiful human beings who exist there, and supporting the channel over there, or indeed becoming a channel member by hitting the join button. It would mean the world to me and would free up more of my time for me to put into this content and other Halo related goodness. Take it easy everyone, and find peace in the domain.